Today, we're not just looking at a story. No, we are going to dissect an architecture, a world that has been meticulously engineered around obsession and absolute control. Let's get into it.
And right there, that line just lays it all out, doesn't it? This isn't some simple story. We're looking at a blueprint for a special kind of psychological warfare, all built into the DNA of a dynasty that's just, well, programmed for ruin. So you have to ask yourself, right? Who would build something like this?
Well, that brings us to the queen of this entire domain, Alara Voss. If we're really going to understand her world, we first have to get inside the head of the woman who designed it.
I mean, just listen to that. Her fortress isn't just a place on a map. It's basically a piece of her soul. You can just picture it, can't you? A place so beautiful it hurts. Bioengineered vines glowing with sapphire veins. Air that's literally designed to seduce you. But here's the twist. Every single beautiful thing, it's a weapon. It's her sanctuary, but it's also her tomb. A gilded cage, just like she says, built from pure genius and a whole lot of paranoia.
And that's Alara herself. This description just hits the nail on the head. She's this perfect, controlled queen in a lab coat, but her own body is described as both a sanctuary and a slaughterhouse. Think about that for a second. She's a creator and a destroyer, the god of her own world with total control. But maybe, just maybe, she's also its first and most willing victim. A walking, talking contradiction. So what's her secret? What makes her so damn dangerous? It's this: gene-spliced empathy. And no, this is not your typical superpower. This is a corporate experiment that went, well, terrifyingly right. She doesn't just feel what you feel. She crawls inside your skin, becomes you, and then she uses your deepest, darkest vulnerabilities against you. It makes her a perfect psychopath, an artist of the human condition who uses souls as paint.
Okay, so we've met the architect. Now, let's pull the camera back a bit and look at the blueprint for this whole universe. What are the actual rules that make this genetic hell tick?
The conflict here isn't just personal. It's literally in their blood. The Valera family's power comes from these inherited disorders that have been turned into weapons. We're talking inherited psychopathy, sadism, a twisted, manipulative empathy. These aren't just character flaws. They are the tools of dynastic warfare, passed down through the bloodline. And the true target is always, always the mind. And this is where the architecture becomes truly insidious. Technology like the Obsidian matrix allows for the complete rewriting of your memory, of your identity. It creates this suffocating paranoia where you can never be sure if your love, your loyalty, or even your own history is real. This is betrayal on an existential level. So if the mind is the target and psychopathy is the weapon, what's the battlefield? In this saga, the answer is brutally simple. The battlefield is love. And there it is, the thesis of this entire world. Every single romantic act is just a play for power. Affection is a strategy for domination. And passion is a fight where the loser submits completely. Can you imagine the psychological toll? In a world like this, genuine vulnerability is impossible, and every relationship becomes a source of deep-seated paranoia. It's like taking the most extreme forms of real-world toxic dynamics and cranking them up to a terrifying degree. This comparison just illustrates it so starkly, doesn't it? How this world subverts romance and turns it into warfare. An embrace isn't comfort, it's a threat. A kiss isn't affection, it's a claim of ownership. Seduction becomes a hostile takeover, using the body as leverage to bypass free will. Intimacy is the ultimate power pivot. We've got the architect, the rules, and the central equation. Now let's see how this blueprint actually plays out in a single visceral confrontation. So the scene unfolds with the cold precision of a military operation. It starts with the invasion. A predator just appears in her impenetrable fortress, completely shattering her illusion of control. This forces a standoff where her greatest weapon, her empathy, shatters against him, revealing not a victim, but an equal. Then comes the claim. His touch isn't a gesture of affection, it's a physical statement of ownership. This escalates to the conquest, a kiss that acts as a branding. And finally, the sync. Their neural tech links up, short-circuiting all reason into just raw, overwhelming sensation. The rules of the world are proven right there in the most visceral way possible. And that, right from Alara's own mind, perfectly captures the reality of intimacy in her world. This isn't romance. It's a violation that feels like a homecoming, a surrender she didn't even know she could make. It's where her resistance just crumbles into this manipulated desire, exactly as the rules of this universe dictate.
A world this complex, this brutal, it wasn't built in a vacuum. To understand its precision, we have to look at the real-world architect behind this entire construction.
See, the author's background is the key to understanding this world's design. Abhinav Bajpayee isn't just a storyteller, he's a global strategist. His expertise in incredibly complex systems like AI and blockchain, well, that forms the very backbone of this fictional world. You can see how this architecture of hell is designed with the cold precision of a high-stakes strategist mapping out a corporate war.
And this reveals this clear parallel between his professional work and his fiction. The saga explores power, identity, and control with the same analytical intensity he applies to real-world strategic challenges. So the goal here isn't simply to tell a dark story, it's to use that darkness as a framework to explore some really profound questions about human nature in our technologically saturated world. And that brings us to the final, haunting question at the very heart of the Obsidian Veil. In a world where your identity can be erased and rewritten, where the most intimate human connection is just another form of warfare, what part of you is truly, unbreakably yours? What is left? That is the question this architecture forces every single one of us to confront.